Welcome back, class. And today we're still talking about World War One or the causes of World War One, and we're talking today about the main thing that started the events that set off this chain of events that led to World War One, and or it was an event that happened. It was the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. That assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. He was the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary, and when he was assassinated, they blamed Serbia. Austria-Hungary did. They gave them a list of demands to meet, and they didn't meet them, so they declared war on them. And then their friends declared war on them, and they declared war on them, and it just was one big world war. And that's this kind of the thing that started it all, though, the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. He was born in the city of Graz on December 18th, 1863. After his cousin and father died, he became the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary. Right here he is. It's Franz Ferdinand. His uncle Franz Joseph was the current emperor of Austria-Hungary Empire, and he was married to Sophie, the Duchess of Hohenberg. And right here is the country, Austria-Hungary, where he was the heir to the throne of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Who was Archduke Ferdinand? Archduke Franz Ferdinand was born in the city of Graz on December 18th, 1863. After his cousin and father died, he became the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary. His uncle Franz Joseph was the current emperor of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. He was married to Sophie, the Duchess of Hohenberg.
All right, so leading up to the assassination, in the southern portion of Austria-Hungary, where there was a region called Bosnia. All right, this is Bosnia here on the map. All right, well, they wanted to have their own country, and they didn't want to be under the rule of Austria-Hungary. So the country of Serbia, just south of Austria border, it also wanted its freedom from the Bosnians. So Serbia was an ally with Russian Empire, and Austria-Hungary was allied with Germany. And there's many other allies in this too that we talked about when we talked about the causes of World War One. These are just a few of the things that all this they wanted the Bosnians wanted to have their own country and not be under the rule of Austria-Hungary, and Serbia was the same way. They didn't want to be under the rule of anybody as well. So,
leading up to the assassination, in the southern portion of Austria-Hungary was a region called Bosnia. Many of the Bosnians wanted to have their own country and not be under the rule of Austria-Hungary. The country of Serbia, just south of Austria-Hungary border, also wanted the freedom of the Bosnians. Serbia was an ally with the powerful Russian Empire, and Austria-Hungary was allied with Germany.
All right, the Black Hand. You see right here, the Black Hand. When Archduke Ferdinand, he announced he was going to take a trip to Sarajevo, and the Bosnian nationalists who wanted Bosnia to be its own country, they saw an opportunity to strike when this happened. And so they got help from their neighboring country of Serbia, and assassins were recruited. All right, they weren't very good assassins. All right, well, ultimately they got lucky in assassinating him. All right, we'll get into that in a moment. But they were trained to kill the Archduke Ferdinand, and they traveled through the streets as he traveled through the streets of Sarajevo, because and these assassins were members of the terrorist group called the Black Hand.
The Black Hand. When Archduke Ferdinand announced his trip to Sarajevo, Bosnian nationalists, people who wanted Bosnia to be its own country, saw their opportunity to strike at the Austrian Empire. With the help of the neighboring country of Serbia, assassins were recruited and trained to kill the Archduke as he traveled through the streets of Sarajevo. These assassins were members of the terrorist group called the Black Hand.
Terrorist group called the Black Hand. Remember that. On June 28, 1914, Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie, they were in the third car of this motorcade that was traveling through Sarajevo. They was going through and going to the town hall. So the Black Hand had several assassins positioned along the route they were taking. On the way to the town hall, the first assassination attempt occurred. A man threw a bomb into the car with the Archduke, but the bomb bounced off the car and it landed under the car behind the motorcade. All right. And the car with the Archduke was in it was able to get away. They was able to speed up, get away, and make it safely to town hall. This guy was the one that threw the bomb. There's the car he was riding in.
On June 28, 1914, Ferdinand and his wife were in the third car of a motorcade, traveling through Sarajevo to the town hall. The Black Hen had several assassins positioned along the route. On the way to the town hall, the first assassination attempt occurred. A man threw a bomb into a car with the Archduke. However, the bomb bounced off the car and landed under the next car in the motorcade. The car with the Archduke was able to speed away and make it safely to town hall.
All right. So they didn't give up. That's not very good assassination attempt. Like I said, they kind of get lucky in the end. Okay, and there's a wrong turn they took. They happened to end up right in front of one of them. So assassins didn't give up. On the return trip, the motorcade took a wrong turn, like I said. And when the driver began to back up, another assassin named Gavrilo Princip happened to be right next to the car. So he kind of got lucky and was right next to the car and was able to do that. So he started firing at the Archduke. He fired twice. He hit the Archduke once and his wife, Sophie.
The assassination continued. The assassins did not give up, however. On the return trip, the motorcade took a wrong turn. When the driver began to back up, another assassin happened to be right next to the car. He took advantage of his opportunity and began firing at the Archduke. He fired twice, hitting the Archduke once and his wife, Sophie.
All right. So the crowd jumped on Princip immediately. All right. And he was arrested by the police. This is Princip. All right. At the same time, the car sped to the governor's residence to get medical help. All right. Like I said, Archduke Ferdinand had been shot and his wife. Sophie was dead before they arrived there at the governor's residence. And the Archduke died just a few minutes later after her.
The crowd jumped on Princip and he was arrested by the police. At the same time, the car sped to the governor's residence to get medical help. Unfortunately, Sophie was dead before they arrived, and the Archduke died a few minutes later.
All right, so results and why it started World War I. All right, so Austria-Hungary government saw the assassination as a direct attack on the country. And they thought, hey, the Serbians are behind this. We know the Serbians are behind this, that they had helped these Bosnian terrorists called the Black Hand. So they made these demands on Serbians, and the Serbians said, "No, man, we're not doing that. Okay, we're rejecting that." But at the same time, Russia began to mobilize their army to help protect Serbia because they knew they were going to declare war on them since they didn't meet their demands.
Results and why it started World War I. The Austria-Hungary government saw the assassination as a direct attack on the country. They believed the Serbians had helped the Bosnian terrorists in the attack. They made harsh demands on the Serbians, which the Serbians rejected. At the same time, Russia began to mobilize their army to help protect Serbia.
All right, so declaring war. When Serbia rejected demands, Austria-Hungary immediately they declared war on Serbia. A few days later, Germany declared war on Russia. Russia was friends with the Serbians, all right? And they wanted to help their ally, Austria-Hungary. So then France began to mobilize and to help its ally of Russia, and Germany followed by declaring war on France. So they had the triple entente going on. Britain, France, Russia were all together. And then by the time all this declaring war on him and them, and this country declaring war on this country, World War I had begun.
Declaring war. When Serbia rejected demands, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. A few days later, Germany declared war on Russia to help its ally, Austria-Hungary. Then France began to mobilize to help its ally, Russia, and Germany followed by declaring war on France. World War I had begun.
All right. Comprehension questions. Archduke Ferdinand was the heir to the throne of what European country? Was it A, Austria-Hungary, B, Bosnia, or C, England? It was A, Austria-Hungary is where he was the heir. He was supposed to be the king or the emperor of the place whenever he come of age, or whenever he was next in line to be the heir.
We have a winner.
All right, number 2. What war began over the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand? What war are we talking about? A, the Civil War, B, World War I, or C, the American Revolution? We are talking about B, World War I, which started in 1914, ended in 1918.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number 3, what was the name of the group that conspired to kill the Archduke? Which one of the groups? They had assassins set up along the route he took in Sarajevo. What was their name? A, the Green Thumb, B, the Red Hand, or C, the Black Hand? The name of the terrorist group was the Black Hand.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number 4, who was Gavrilo Princip? Was he A, Archduke Ferdinand? Was he B, the man who shot the Archduke and assassinated him? Or C, no one? He was B, the man who shot the Archduke and assassinated him and his wife.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
And number 5, who did Austria-Hungary blame for the assassination? What country did they blame? A, Serbia, B, Bosnia, or C, North Carolina? It was A, they blamed the Serbians.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
And blamed the Serbians for that. All right, class, that is all for today. I hope you learned a little bit more about the Archduke Ferdinand and one of the major things that actually catapulted everyone into war. We will be talking about, when we turn going through our timeline, the sinking of the Lusitania, which eventually led to the Americans joining the war. Like I said, at the time, America was neutral. They tried to stay out of the war, but then got pulled in because of certain things. So, and we'll get more into that too. Anyway, I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you next time.